What's up guys, it's your girl Crèer Huxtable 2.0 and today I am going to be hitting the kitchen with a pastry chef from New Orleans, my good friend Katina, the owner of Crèer 111. If you haven't followed her yet, make sure you go and follow her. She makes some really tasty desserts and they also look very pretty. So as you can see, I have my get up on. If I'm hitting the kitchen, I gotta be Donna Reed chic, right? Gotta be ready to, cook for the man or the woman, whatever. But anyway, kiss the cook, okay? So, I'm going to New Orleans today. You're coming with me and we're gonna have some fun. Hey y'all, it's your girl Crèer Huxtable 2.0 and I am here with Katina Smothers, the owner of Crèer 111, the delectable desserts. I swear, if you follow her on Facebook, she has the prettiest desserts I've ever seen. So, first and foremost, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and also like her page as well. And so, we're gonna get a little bit of information from Katina as to how this all came about. I heard this story. It is a profound coming to be story and how this happened, and so hopefully it'll inspire you guys to get out there and follow your dreams.
Well, Claire, I have always been involved in anything hospitality, mostly for family and friends. And before Katrina, my mom had a dream. My mom's a 9 o'clock go to bed type person, so I get a call about midnight and it's like, who is this? Why? And so I answer, and she's like, Tina, I just wanted to call you and let you know I had a dream that you had a business. Oh, it was like a one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mama, the business name was Creations by Katina, and you did everything, because I was a hairstylist before nursing, which I did for 15 years. So you did their hair, makeup, you did all the treats, you did everything. I'm like, okay. Nothing came about. Some years passed. Katrina happened. We are home now, and we are at my mom's house. My aunt says, Tina, I had a dream about you last night. And I'm like, what you had a dream about me about? Well, you had this business. And I'm like, wait, hold on, Ma, come over here. So my mom's there, and my aunt's telling me about a business that I had that was like a one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, the business, you did everything. You did all the treats and sweets and cakes, and you cooked, and you did everything. And the business name was Katina's Creations. Then my niece graduates high school. And I did a sweets table. At this point, I was a travel nurse, so I did a lot of things from out of town. And so I came home to do the sweets table and met this lady who was just blown away by the sweets table that I did. So the lady and I spoke. It was like a 15 to 30 minute conversation, and she had a lot to say that was so. It was some of the same things my aunt and my mom said. And so I was so blown away by it, and I knew it had to be a higher being sending all those different signs to me that, this is something you need to be doing. So, okay, and so I just looked into it. What steps do I need to take to pursue this dream? And so I started Googling, getting on YouTube, and I met with a mentor who would mentor you virtually, and she assisted with getting your business off the ground and different types of treats and things like that. So that was an enhancement to what I already knew, and I knew that I couldn't stop there. I needed more. So I was still a travel nurse, and I would go home and go back, and on one of the times I was home, I'm just driving around and I passed this place that looked just like a cafe to me. And so I didn't sleep because I kept thinking about it. So I Googled it. What is it? It's a pastry culinary school here in New Orleans. So I looked into it, and now I'm currently a nurse by trade / pastry arts student. In order to enhance more of what I already offer. French pastry, I can dip a candied apple, it doesn't matter. But Crèer 111, the name came about with conversations with a sister. She said, you should make it sound French, you're from New Orleans. So I took what my aunt had to say and what my mom had to say, and I came up with the word Crèer, which means create in French. But in some conversations with my sister, multiple times we look at the clock and it's 1:11 in the morning, 1:11 in the evening, and it's like, what is the significance of 1:11? 1:11 signifies what's happening now is meant to be. So Crèer 1:11 is meant to be.
All right, look at God. Won't he do it? So Katina and I have known each other for about 3 years. We used to dance together here in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Not that kind of dancing. We had our clothes on. But I always knew Katina as a nurse. So when I started seeing these pictures on Facebook, because we are Facebook friends, I was like, well, what does Katina do? I thought she was, nursing and traveling and whatnot. And so y'all, like I said before, follow her on her page on Facebook, because the things that she puts out are gorgeous. They look delicious. We're gonna taste them today. I got my Kiss to Cook shirt on and my little apron. Katina has her customized Crèer 111 apron, okay? And we're gonna get started.
Alrighty, so today Claire and I will be making carrot cake cupcakes with a creamy cream cheese frosting, which are her favorite, I heard. So you'll include in your cake mix 113 grams of oil, 170 grams of granulated sugar. So the oil you're using will be vegetable oil, okay? 1 gram of cinnamon, 2.5 grams of salt. Kosher salt may be a bit heavy, so I would use a fine salt. 70.5 grams of bread flour, 63.5 grams of cake flour, and that could be your Swan's Don or whatever your local grocery store uses or has. Baking powder, 5.5 grams. Baking soda, 2 grams. Eggs, 113 grams. Out of the shell, please crack your eggs into a bowl to scale, okay? Carrots, you have 113 grams of shaved, peeled, grated, however you want to side. But before you put your carrots in your mixture, be sure to grate the skin off your carrots and then shave them down to your 177 grams. And you also have 90.5 grams of chopped walnuts. You can substitute the walnuts for pecans. I have done walnut and pecans before, so to each his own, okay? So we'll mix what we call a blending method. You just mix all your ingredients together, and we'll demonstrate that in a moment. Conversions. Notice I use grams in my measurements. Grams is a weight. If you're using cups or spoons or whatever, you're not as accurate as you need to be, because 1 cup of sugar may be fairly similar to a cup of brown sugar, but not quite. The brown sugar, because of the molasses, will weigh more. So you would rather do it in grams so that you get a more accurate measurement. Alrighty, so in my bowl, I will first put in my vegetable oil so that your flour and all your dry ingredients don't stick to the bottom. So I'll put my vegetable oil in. We have our eggs, which are 113 grams or comes to about a little shy of 3 eggs. And because we're using cake flour tends to clump up. So I'm going to sift all my dry ingredients together in your bowl. And a fine sieve. So I have my bread flour, cake flour, baking soda, cinnamon and salt, baking powder, and it's not necessary to sift your sugar. We'll just add that in after we sift the other dry ingredients. So what happens when you're sifting, you incorporate a finer flour mixture, but also you see all the lumps and clumps that would have been in your mixture are caught in the sieve. So you don't have that, and you don't have that chewy or crunchy spot when you're eating your pastries, okay? So then I'll put in my granulated sugar. And with the paddle attachment, we're gonna go ahead and mix all of those ingredients together. Okay. Now what we wanna do is add our carrots and our walnuts at the end, because you don't want the mixer to kind of cream up your carrots, nor do you want it to chop up your walnuts too much where they're not pronounced in your carrot cake. So chopped walnuts, carrots, and we're gonna mix that just till it's incorporated. Alrighty, so your mixture is just mixed and incorporated. It doesn't take very long to mix. We're going to grease our baking pan with something called pan grease. This is something I learned in school. You can take equal parts flour and shortening, mix them up in the mixer until there's no lumps and everything, and use that in the place of what Mom used to use is butter and flour in your pan.
Depending on how many you want to make, that's how you measure it, or just...
So no, the pan grease is something I've made ahead of time, okay, and I just keep for whenever I'm baking. Because it's just flour and oil, the shelf life is fairly long. So I will take my little brush here and we'll brush in a fair amount. You don't want to dollop on it. You just, you know, kind of coat your lining. Make sure you get the corners there, because that's where it typically sticks.
Hey, you, instead of using cupcake liners like a lot of people do, you grease your bare pan instead. You want to tell us about why that is?
Cupcake liners, I'll do those. It's just a personal preference. I'll do those for kiddie parties or whatever. But for my blueberry cupcakes, blueberry muffins, or cake, breakfasty type cupcakes, I don't. It's just a personal preference of mine. So what we're gonna do now is scrape down your bowl. I want to be sure that I'm not leaving any flour or anything stuck to the side of the bowl that didn't get incorporated into my mixture. So looks like we mixed pretty good, Claire.
I like it.
So we're going to, if you want, 1 scoop per cavity of your cupcake.
Okay.
We're using a basic ice cream scooper, and we'll do 1 scoop per cavity of mixture.
Okay. Then just scoop it up against the...
Right. No right or wrong way for scooping.
And we're putting 1 scoop because when they expand, you don't want them to overflow.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, I had some trial and error with that. Tried to do, because you want to fill it about 2/3 of a way. And I think that's about it.
And there are different sizes of cupcake pans too, because I noticed these are larger than what I'm used to seeing.
Correct. And like I said, when I do for kiddie parties or whatever, I would use the smaller cupcake pans and use the liners. Now there are liners for the jumbo cupcake pans. Okay. It just is again a personal preference for me.
The smaller cupcakes would be better for the kiddies to handle, right?
Yeah.
You don't want them to be pound that much sugar.
They don't need all that.
Right.
Okay. So then I kind of tap it on the counter for, tap it down so you don't have air bubbles. Because have you ever opened up a cupcake and then you see little air bubbles, or at the bottom it has a little divot because an air bubble got in there. Yeah. So we'll bake at 325 for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. At that 20-minute mark, you want to start checking. You can stick a toothpick in the center, and it should come out clean. That lets you know that your cake or cupcake is ready. Okay, there you go on in. So here in this bowl, we have the ultimate cream cheese frosting. That's, for red velvets, for carrot cakes, cream cheese frosting is just like, oh my God, the signature topping. So in this bowl, I have your cream cheese frosting. It's been in the cooler. I made it ahead of time. It has 8 ounces of cream cheese, a pound of powdered sugar, 10 times sifted, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a half a cup of butter, unsalted butter. Okay, so you throw all those ingredients in. Be careful when using the hand mixture or the KitchenAid, because powdered sugar will go everywhere. So I would be sure my cream cheese is at room temperature, my butter is also at room temperature. Cream those together until they're smooth. Add a little bit at a time, maybe a cup or so at a time of your powdered sugar, and kind of go slow with it, because again, you'll have a big cloud of powdered sugar all over your kitchen. You want to mix until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so today what we'll do, we'll be piping our cream cheese on our cupcakes. So I have a piping tip here with a star tip, and you'll see when we pipe on what the effect of the star tip is. So as you can see, the cream cheese is fairly stiff now. I just got it out of the cooler, but it's smooth. When you take it out of your mixer, it'll be at a creamy butter consistency, and that's what you want. So we'll let this sit. Our cupcakes are in the oven, and we'll come back and cream our cream cheese mixture, and then place the signature topping on top of our cupcakes. Okay, so I have a toothpick. I think we're about ready. You want to poke the center clean. Alrighty, so we're gonna pull these out, and we can cool for roughly 10 minutes in the pan, but you want it to come to a complete cool prior to putting your frosting on. All right, so as that cools, oven's off, we will bag so I'm gonna use a pastry bag with the piping tip. I just open it here, slide your tip in, and we'll cut off the excess here so that you can actually get the cream cheese frosting out. So make sure that's snug in there, and then you fold down the corner here, and you're going to use your hand as a little stiff. So you see, oh, I use my thumb. I glide my spatula across my thumb in order to get that off of your spatula. Let me get another spatula because this one is kind of flimsy. Stiffer. There we go. And push that down in there. And you don't want to fill your bag up too much because it can be hard to pipe out if it's too much in your bag. And so you kind of twist it as such, take a test, and there we go. So now we're just waiting on our cupcakes to cool. Alrighty, so we're gonna cool our cupcakes on a cooling rack. So you put you see these little divots here at the bottom of my cooling rack. Put your cooling rack on top of your
cupcakes
and flip over. I'm gonna leave them there to let gravity pull them down for about 5 minutes and then release the tin pan. Alrighty, so we're gonna frost our little cakes here.
They look so cute.
So we'll take this and we're going to go straight up and down with our tip and start to press, and then you in your wrist. Let's see. Claire, pick your poison.
I'm gonna go with this little nugget.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So, tip down, squeeze, squeeze. Now start to spin your wrist. Oh, you can go around again. Go ahead on, girl. Now cut it off. Just stop squeezing. There you go. Good job. So sometimes I might just do this little to get it to go around there. But yes, good job. You can do it. Look, you can do another one if you like. There you go.
Yeah, and you just keep twisting down to keep it
Keep twisting.
taut.
Yes, keep it taut. Yes. So you're going to create this little star first, and then you start to spin your wrist. Correct. Good job. Oh my God. That looked much better than my first few. Good job. Good job. Good job. Well, thank you. So I'll leave that there, and let's see, Claire.
All right. Let's see. All right.
Piping tip straight down. Start to squeeze and start to swivel your wrist. And stop. Good job.
Hey.
One more. You got one more. Why not?
Let's see. Ooh.
All right, all right. So there you have it. And I'm gonna ground cinnamon to top it off. Just a very little, just for a little added decor. And there you have it. Carrot cake mini cakes. We're not calling them cupcakes, we call them mini cakes with decadent cream cheese frosting.
Look at that. You was cooking and stuff. Looks good. All right, we have made our little carrot mini cakes, and now it's time to taste our creations. Yeah. Bon appetit. Girl. Okay. Follow her on Facebook. Get her in your life. Cause these right here, the icing, the fluffiness of the cake. Y'all, follow Crèer 111. Get in your life. Book her for all your events, honey. She can do it from the rooter to the tutor. All right.
Thank you much, Claire.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe this video, and we'll see you guys later. Y'all, Crèer 111, Katina's awesome creation, little mini carrot cakes, honey. The icing on this right here, baby, and I took 4 of them home. She packed them up for me and about to smash one on the drive home. So I hope y'all enjoyed it.